Hello students. Uh, in the last session, we had discussed about the practical study of morphology and we had studied a few specimens. Today we'll continue with the same practical and we will be studying few more specimens under the same practical. Okay. In the last session, I had discussed about some organisms coming under kingdom fungi. We had discussed about rhizopus and I had told you what are the general characteristics of rhizopus. So we had discussed about the systematic position. We had studied characteristics of rhizopus and what is the structure of rhizopus and how you'll be able to recognize under the microscope what are the characteristics, peculiar characteristics of rhizopus, okay, and how the reproduction takes place in case of rhizopus. Today, we will be studying the next specimen, that is agaricus, which is called as common edible mushroom. The mushroom which is edible, which is can be consumed by the humans. Okay, so as we discussed the systematic position, it comes under phylum kingdom fungi, division Eumycota, class Basidiomycetes. Okay, Basidiomycetes. So, what are the general characteristics of agaricus, which is nothing but mushroom? Common edible mushroom is the fruiting body, or the fruiting body is termed as basidiocarp of agaricus. Basidiocarp is the fruiting part of the mushroom. Okay. The fungus is a saprophyte. The meaning of saprophyte is it depends on dead organic material for as a food. It feeds on dead organic material. Okay, it's a saprophyte that grows in a soil rich in humus and with a thick layer of semi-decomposed organic matter. So the organic matter which is undergoing decomposition, there you'll find the agaricus in more number. Okay, a mature fruiting body can be distinguished into two parts: the erect stalk and the umbrella-like piles. Okay, the erect stalk is called as steep. Okay, and the umbrella-like structure is called as piles. Okay, so and the whatever the umbrella-like structure, it is attached ventrally at the center of the stalk. So if there is a stalk and you have an umbrella-like structure, this umbrella-like structure is called as pilus and the stalk is called as steep. Okay, this umbrella-like structure has gills. If you see the inner part of that uh, pilus, it is having gills. Okay, under the surface of the pilus, and these gills bear basidia, a structure called as basidia, and they will produce spores called as basidiospores. So in the next slide you can see these. This is the picture of a mushroom. Okay, edible mushroom. Not all type of agaricus are edible. There are some poisonous mushrooms also which should not be consumed, which should not be consumed. Only there are few mushrooms which are can be consumed and which are not going to harm the humans. Okay, not some are toxic. Okay, they release poison. So as I told you the structure of agaricus, this is the picture or the slide which shows you the structure of a mushroom. You can see this is the stalk of the mushroom, okay, which is called as steep. And this is the umbrella-like structure called as pilus, which is called as pilus or a cap. And under beneath this cap, you have gills, which is called as lamellae, which is called as lamellae. Okay, when you go into the internal structure, detailed structure of these gills, it is consisting of basidia or basidium. Basidium is the singular word, plural word is basidia. Okay, and they will produce basidiospores. Each basidia will produce 4 basidiospores. You can see 4 basidiospores are going to be produced by each basidium. Okay, here also I can show you the there's one more picture. It shows you the cap, it shows you the gills. If you take the cross section of gills and see under the microscope, they have a structure called as a basidia. Okay, each basidia will give rise to spores, four spores, which are called as basidiospores. Okay, even one more thing, what you can notice in this picture is this is the fruiting body, which is called as basidiocarp. Okay, beneath this is the part which is the aerial part, which you find it on the ground. Okay, the part which is below the ground, they have root-like structures which are nothing called mycelium. You know that mycelium is the vegetative plant body. This is the mycelium. This is the mycelium which will give rise to fruiting body called as basidiocarp. This is the fruiting body, okay, which will give rise to spores. Spores are the one, okay, which on disperse, which will get detached from this basidium. They will get released. They will get dispersed. When they go and fall on the substratum, they will develop into a new mushroom. They will develop into a new mushroom. So this is the structure of agaricus. This is the structure of agaricus. I'll repeat it once again. Fruiting body is called as basidiocarp, which consists of two main parts, that is the stalk and the cap. The cap consists of gills. Okay, the gills consist of a structure called as basidia or basidium. Okay, basidium will give rise to basidiospores. Okay, these spores on disperse will develop into a new individual or a new organism. It's a fungus. So you know that fungus body, vegetative body is called as a mycelium, which is made up of network of hyphae. Okay, so this is agaricus. This picture is clicked by me. Okay, this is also mushroom which is found on the bark of the tree. Okay, this is also a fruiting body which you can find. Coming to the next specimen, Saccharomyces, which is called as yeast. You have come across the term yeast in your day-to-day life also, because yeast is commonly used in preparation of bakery products. In preparation of bread, it is used yeast. Yeast is a fungus. Yeast is a fungus. Coming to the systematic position, it comes under kingdom fungi. One more term for fungi is mycota. Division Eumycota. Class Saccharomycetes. Saccharomyces or Saccharomycetes, very easy to remember, and the common name is commonly termed used is yeast. Coming to the characteristics of yeast, cells are oval or spherical in shape and they are colorless, do not have any particular color. But when you study about the mushroom, mushroom is also um, a fungi, but you have different colors here. Mushrooms have different colors depending on the pigment, but yeast are colorless. And cells form chain of buds. Bud formation takes place. This is how they will undergo multiplication. This is the form, this is the type of reproduction what the yeast will undergo. Cells form a chain of buds that help in propagation, means further development. That is, they will give rise to new yeast cells. Each cell has one vacuole. There is presence of one vacuole. They have cell organelles, and there is a presence of single nucleus in every cell. Okay, so when you compare it with the mushroom and yeast, both are fungus. Mushroom is a multicellular fungi. Yeast is a unicellular fungi made up of only single cell. Mushroom is a multicellular fungi. It's a multicellular fungi. Okay, but yeast is a unicellular fungi. Very important point, very important difference between mushroom and yeast. So this is the picture which shows you how the yeast will look under the microscope. Okay, you can see the bud formation, the bud formation. So each bud will get detached and it will develop into a new yeast. Okay, and this is the structure of a yeast. You can see there is a presence of single nucleus. There is a presence of cytoplasm. There are different cell organelles, and there is a bud which will give rise to a new yeast cell, which will on detachment, it will develop into yeast. This is the yeast which is used in bakery products, preparation of bakery products, like I told you in preparation of bread. So in market, in the shops, you will get yeast in form of sachets. So you have to mix it with water. Once you mix it with water and you see that they will undergo multiplication with the help of budding, and they will help in fermentation. They will help in fermentation of that is the batter which is prepared, used in preparation of bread, cakes, and so on. So this is about the yeast. Next is the next specimen is lichens. So what are lichens? When you come across the term lichens, the first point what comes in your mind is you have studied in your theory class that it is a symbiotic association between algae and fungi. Means algae and fungi, two different organisms, are going to stay together and they have a mutual understanding between them. They have a mutual understanding between them. So this is what you should know about lichens. They have a symbiotic association with algae and fungi. The algae part is called as phycobiote and the fungal part is called as mycobiote. So both are staying together, okay? And which are, see, algae is a heterotrophic, sorry, it is a autotrophic, it prepares food, whereas fungi is heterotrophic. It gives shelter to the algae. Now, how they have a mutual understanding? Algae is green in color. It undergoes photosynthesis and prepares food. For the preparation of food, it needs a material. So that material is given by the fungi, and fungi also gives shelter to the algae. So algae gets the shelter and fungi gets the food. So in this way, they will exchange their benefits with each other. Okay, so they have a mutual understanding. By seeing a lichen, you'll never come to know that there is a symbiotic association between algae and fungi. So they have a mutual understanding. Okay, algae prepares food for the fungi, and fungi provides shelter and absorbs mineral nutrients and water for its partner. So they have a mutual understanding. Okay, so I've written here, so close is their association that if one saw lichen in nature, one would never imagine that they had two different organisms within them. And one more important characteristic of lichens is they are indicators of air pollution. So they are indicators of air pollution. Whenever you see any area with a lichen, there is a lichen present, it indicates that that area is least polluted or the pollution rate is very less. Okay? If you see area where there is no lichens, it indicates that the pollution rate or the concentration of pollutant in the air is more. Air is more. They do not grow in polluted areas. They do not grow in polluted areas. So, lichens, again the body of lichen is called as thallus, which is undifferentiated plant body or vegetative body. Usually they are gray in color lichens, but some have pigmentation. Depending on the pigmentation, you find different colored lichens like yellow, red, orange, brown. Okay, there are, depending on the pigments, you have different colored lichens also, but usually they are grayish. Okay, so there are different forms of thallus based on their growth, form, and nature of attachment to the substratum. So depending on how they are going to grow, depending on their morphological characteristic also, there are different types of lichens. So first type of lichen is crustose. The picture what you can see here is of crustose. So the thallus appears as a thin layer or crust. Means it is like a patch. They are like a patch which are closely attached by its hole to the lower surface of stones, rocks, barks of wood, trees, and so on. So you'll find like they are like patches. Okay, these are crustose. You cannot differentiate different parts in this lichen. They are like a thin layer on the substratum. Substratum can be a stone, it can be a rock, it can be the bark of the tree, and so on. Okay, so this is a type of lichen which is called as crustose. This is the picture which is clicked by me on the bark of the tree. This is also a lichen which is a type called as crustose, which is greenish in color. Okay. Coming to the second type of lichen, folios. Folios are also lichens, but they are leafy like. Flat lobes are there. Okay. And horizontally spreading thallus. Thalli means is a plural word. Thallus is a singular word. Okay. So they are leaf-like structures. You can see small leafy-like lichens there. Okay. Leafy-like lichens. If you see lichens in this form, it is a type of lichen which is called as foliose. If it is in the form of patch, it is called crustose. Third type is fructicose. These are shrubby lichens, shrub-like. Okay, they are erect, pendulous thalli. I'll read the sentence. These are shrubby lichens with cylindrical flat or ripple-like upright. Upright means they are erect. Okay, generally branched and pendulous thalli. Pendulous means hanging thallus. Thallus is hanging. Okay, so usnea is one of the type of lichen which comes under fructicose. Okay, so this is about lichens. Three types: crustose, foliose, fructicose. Okay, now there are some lichens which are edible, which can be consumed. Okay, there is a lichen which is called as black stone flower. Black stone flower is the English name. Kallu huvu. In Kannada we use the term kallu huvu, means it is found on the rocks, and huvu is flower. And in Marathi we use the term dagad fool. Okay, so this lichen is used as a spices in India. Okay, it is used as spice. You know, different spices are used in Indian recipes. So lichen is also used in as a spice in Indian recipes. Okay, usually in the preparation of non-vegetarian food. Non-vegetarian food, the spice is used, which gives a good flavor to the recipe or dish. Okay, so today we have covered um, lichens, we have covered about yeast, we have covered mushroom, agaricus. Okay, with this practical, that is study of morphology, will end. So I'll just revise once again whatever we have studied under the practical, that is study of morphology. So we started with what is morphology, study of external features. Then I had told you about the classification: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Mycota, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. We started with the first specimen, that is bacteria. Then we moved with Oscillatoria, Spirogyra, Rhizopus, and today we have covered Agaricus, which is mushroom, yeast, and lichens. So with this, study of morphology comes to end. Okay, and in the next practical, that is study in morphology in plants, we will be focusing on the specimens coming under kingdom Plantae. We will be studying kingdom Bryophyta, okay, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms in the next practical. Okay, so this is about the study of morphology.